Hi, I'm Justin, and in this video, I'll show you how to use the Flex widget. The Flex widget lets you showcase the trust you've created with your customers on your website. It's a customizable widget that displays your trust score or actual customer reviews directly on your site. The Flex widget helps you build trust with your visitors and potential customers in the moments that matter, like when they're about to sign up, check out, or take some other important action related to your business. The Flex widget is available on the Enterprise plan. Let's talk about how to display real customer reviews using the Flex widget. We call this Review Highlights. This is a great way to build trust in your brand at different points along a conversion journey using real customer voices. To configure the Flex widget to show review highlights, I'm going to go to Share and Promote, Customize, and Flex. Here in the center of the screen, we have a preview of the widget, and on the side, we have all of our configuration settings. First, I'm going to choose Highlights to make sure that this is a Review Highlights version of the Flex widget. Next, I can choose a size. Obviously, choose a size that's right for your application, and we provide the dimensions of the widgets right here underneath. Now it's time to customize the actual reviews. You can choose how many reviews to include in your widget, and you can also choose a topic for those reviews. What we do is we look at all of your reviews and we recommend some topics based on which topics are most popular. You can also customize the topic using a keyword. So if I type in the word shipping here, then all of the reviews in the widget will be related to shipping. This is really helpful as you increase the relevancy of the widget content to the content of your page. So you can create a widget that has all shipping reviews and put it on your shipping page. Next, you can customize the appearance. You can change everything from the color to the background of the widget. You can change the text, and you can change the border. Finally, you can change the widget language. Now, this does not change the language of the reviews. This only changes the language of the elements within the widget. However, if you have multiple language reviews in your account, for example, let's say you have reviews in both English and French, you can toggle this button on, and if you choose French as the language, then Trustpilot will pull the French language reviews into the French widget. If you set the language to English and you toggle this on and you have English reviews, it'll pull the English reviews into the English widget. When you're happy with your design, click the Get Code button, and now you have two chunks of script. The first chunk of code should go in the head section of your website. So click Copy, and then you can either manually paste this into the head section, or as a pro tip, if you use a tag management system like Google Tag Manager, you can place it into a container. After you've done that, you want to take the main code and paste this where you want the widget to appear on your page. Once you add the code to your site, the review highlight will be live. Now let's talk about how to display your trust score with the Flex widget. This helps you show credibility at scale, like on your homepage, category pages, or checkout pages. On a homepage, a strong trust score builds instant trust with visitors. On a pricing page, showing a high number of reviews reinforces confidence in your brand to potential buyers. And on product pages, a positive word rating like excellent builds confidence in your products. To configure the Flex widget to show trust score, I'm going to go to Share and Promote, Customize, and Flex. Here we have our window with a preview of the widget in the center and our settings on the side. The first thing I'm going to do is choose Trust Score to make this a Trust Score widget. Next, I need to choose a size. Now, the size determines what's going to be in the widget. So if I choose extra small, then I can include one trust signal, so something like the star rating or the number of reviews. If I choose a small, a medium, or a large, then I can choose two trust signals. So for example, I could include the trust score star rating along with the number of reviews, or the review number with the word rating. It's really up to you and how much size you have and what you want to share. Now, the extra large widget allows you to include two trust signals, and you can also add reviews. You can toggle this on and off. If you choose to include reviews, you can actually customize which reviews appear in the widget. For example, by default, we will include the latest reviews. But you could customize it and say choose your reviews based on the ones you've marked as favorites. Now, obviously, you would need to mark your favorites within your Trustpilot account, but we can automatically pull your favorites into the widget. And likewise, you can also choose to include reviews based on a tag if you've set up tags within your account. Scrolling down, it's time to customize the appearance. You can change the color, you can change the background. Now, one thing that's really interesting is you can change the category icon and category name. This is pulled directly from your account. So when you set up your account, you choose a category for your business, and you can choose an icon and toggle that on and off here in the widget. Finally, at the bottom, you can choose a language. Now, the drop-down is just the language of the elements within the widget. It doesn't change the language of the reviews. However, if you have reviews in multiple languages, you can toggle this little switch on, and Trustpilot will match the language of the review to the language of the widget. When you're happy with your design, you can click the Get Code button to get the code for your widget. Copy this first script into the head section of your website. Here's a pro tip. If you use a tag management solution like Google Tag Manager, you can drop this code into a container. Once you add the code to your head section, you want to copy the second piece of code to the location of your page where you want the widget to appear. Once you add the code to the site, the Flex widget will be live. Now let's talk about how to measure the performance of the Flex widget. I'm going to navigate to Analytics, Engagement, and Widgets. This report gives me a macro level view of all of my widgets, not just the Flex widget. But here, I just want to focus on the Flex widget. The easiest way to measure the performance is actually to scroll down to the bottom of the page and look at this table. This table has a list of all your widgets, but you can clearly see the Flex widget in the first row. Now, let's review the metrics. Widget impressions is when the code is loaded into the browser. A view is when the widget actually becomes visible to the visitor. So it's possible that the widget would be sent to the browser, but it may not be visible. That's why the view rate may not be 100%. It could be that the widget is below the fold and the user is not scrolling below the fold. If you have a very low view rate, you may want to check the placement of your widget. It may be too low on the page or not visible to visitors for some other reason. Perhaps it's not visible on mobile devices. Finally, you can see things like the number of clicks for your widget and the click-through rate. So what's a good click-through rate? It really depends on how you're using the Flex widget. If you're using it to create confidence during a checkout process, you may not want a lot of clicks. But if the widget is on a generic page, like a home page, you may want a lot of clicks. You may want to send people to your Trustpilot page so they can learn more about your company and your business. That's the Flex widget. Use review highlights to feature powerful quotes that build confidence. Use TrustScore to showcase your overall reputation at scale. Together, they help you turn trust into customer actions and business success. Log into your Trustpilot business account to create your first Flex widget and visit our Help Center for more guidance.